I think as we look at the biggest issues for our region over the last 5 to 10 years, probably even longer than 10 years, the biggest issue that we see, I think, is a lack of talent in the area. And when there's a lack of talent, organizations can't hire the people that they want to hire. It makes it more difficult to recruit businesses from out of town. So we've been on this journey to increase the talent level in our area. And clearly, the public schools, the talent really is there. And when I think about Fort Wayne Community Schools with 29,000 students and the potential in those 29,000 students, it's just incredible.
You think about why businesses and why people move to a community, it's dependent on the school system. You have a strong school system, it's a magnet for new business attraction, it's a magnet for why people want to live here. It is critical that everybody embraces the school system and have it rise to the best it can be, not only for the businesses and for the economic growth, but for the young people themselves so that they have the best opportunity to have their best life as well.
So when a strong public education system educates our children, essentially our tomorrow, those children end up giving back to that same system that strengthened and positioned them for success.
You know, in the last 10 years, Fort Wayne has done roughly $1 billion in economic development, created 22,000 jobs. That didn't include electric work. So I think in the next 5 years, we're gonna be creating that many jobs. And we need people from Fort Wayne who can do all these jobs, that can fill the workforce.
When you have healthy adults, you have healthy communities. You know, you can't produce healthy communities if adults are not having a pathway and understanding exactly what they need to do to be productive.
A strong public education system is so vital to our community. They're tomorrow's employees, they're tomorrow's customers, and we have to make sure that they grow up and be the best people they can be.
My why in regards to creating a scenario in Fort Wayne Community Schools that is sparking innovation and transformation is simply this. We have to produce graduates that are ready for the workforce, are ready for some type of post-secondary training. I would say both, because if we're going to continue to grow as a community, as Northeast Indiana, we need a viable workforce that is quality. And hopefully that brings investment. Regarding Fort Wayne Community Schools' role in building a community, I think we are a foundation. Those programs that lift all students, and I say all students because we need students who are college-bound, 4-year degrees. We need students with associates. We need students who receive certificates, apprenticeships, so forth. Some type of driving post-secondary, but to do that, we have to have quality graduates. We need to be partners in moving all students to this level of quality.
I believe every child deserves a great education. It's just vital, it's critical that the early learning is done. So when they come to school in kindergarten, they're ready to go. And so they're on an equal platform as all the other children.
If every child in Fort Wayne Community School District, whenever they're hitting that first door, if they know their shapes and colors and have a really good vocabulary, how much better will the outcomes be to hit 3rd grade reading level, 4th grade math? But all these pathways to success start. The first pathway is making sure that we're delivering 5-year-olds that are ready to learn.
So in regards to 5 key areas of moving students, where does it begin? Pre-K. So we begin with your pre-K programming, again, trying to level the field. We know that pre-K is a program that works, that if we can see little ones who are entering kindergarten at the same level, their chance of finishing at the end of that funnel is far greater than those who even start 2 months behind their peers. Because if they're 2 months behind their peers as kindergartners, they're 2 years behind their peers as 8th graders. So pre-K is absolutely I will say, one of the most important pieces there is. Second of all, how do we focus on literacy? How do we focus on numeracy? And how do we focus on, well, I'll say, social emotional well-being of our students? If they don't have those three areas they're competent in those three areas, what kind of graduate are we actually looking at? So we need to ensure that that happens. Thirdly, we also need to link what is real world. So how do we bring the real world into our classrooms? Because we know when we bring it to life, students engage. When students engage, student learning starts to amplify. That's a critical piece, which then leads to our whole college and career readiness. Now, college and career readiness is a very unique phenomenon because we started with pre-K at the front of the continuum, and now we're at the end of the continuum. Well, for me, college and career readiness starts in elementary. We need to start asking students and working with students and creating student passion about what are your interests, what are your attributes, what are your skill sets, how are we going to continue to expand those? And students, how do we move you through a curriculum that is guiding you to your future career? So that happens again in elementary, it happens in middle school, and it happens in high school. Our work doesn't stop at graduation. Matter of fact, our work actually continues. Our work still means what are they doing after high school and what's the success of that kid? We call that persistence rate. Are they attaining that certificate? Are they working 40 hours a week? Are they into a 2-year program or a 4-year college program? That's not for me to decide. That's for a student to decide, but our job is to assist them and mentor them even after graduation. That's a very different concept, but we just went through a whole continuum of pre-K to after high school, leading to hopefully graduates that are going to enter our workforce, that they can make a livable wage and they can be successful.
Economic development is very important to our community. It's about our community growth, and the education system just plays right into that. When you look at how the school systems are preparing our youth for career pathways and for careers in job opportunities, when we're talking to a client about growing their business here locally or maybe moving a business here, they're interested and concerned about what the education system is like. They need to know that they have a pipeline of talent that can fill the roles that they need.
Well, I think one of the biggest issues we all have as employers is finding capable employees to do the jobs we need. How do we graduate kids from high school with a certain set of trades or skills that they can immediately go into the workforce with and provide employees to companies in Northeast Indiana? I think it's pretty much a proven fact that if you're from this area, you go to work here, the odds of you staying in this area are like greater than if you import somebody and then 2 years later they want to go back to where they came from. So I think it's essential that we provide the skills to young kids that help them either go to work out of high school or prepare them for a proper college education that's meaningful.
I've often wondered, why haven't school systems merged with economic development programs? Should we not be providing graduates that are ready to move into the high demand areas of our local economy? In Fort Wayne Community Schools, we've chosen basically 6 main areas. We call them pipelines that we're focusing on. One of those would be e-commerce. You look at the Sweetwaters, you look at Ruoff Mortgages, you look at those corporations, it's about e-commerce. Well, that's a very different marketplace than what it was, say, when I graduated, which manufacturing is heavy. But I also say advanced manufacturing. That's another pipeline. A third one would be trades. When I first came to Fort Wayne, one of the main things I heard was, how can we expand the presence of people in the trades connecting with our kids in the classrooms, because there's such a high demand for those workers in the trades. A fourth one would be data, IT, and analytics. That sort of speaks to itself as well. I don't think there's any organization that's not tied to some way with technology. So health and related sciences, major demand all across our country. We're going to see that continued demand. We just asked 5 of our major industries, clusters in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Northeast Indiana, to come forward and partner with us. What about the teacher shortage? What about us also growing our own? So we also have a 6th pathway for education. We're trying to expand the workforce that is ready to move into the high need areas of our community. that hopefully are also well-paying. You're going to have a way to continue to advance, so continuous learning, and you're going to improve their overall economy of Northeast Indiana. Many of you may know we're part of Electric Works, and I think that's a beautiful thing that's happening because that moves our students into an environment that's innovative, that's creative, and quite frankly, if that doesn't spark innovation, I don't know what will. What's happening in that space is simply this. We're going to focus on entrepreneurship. We're also going to focus on digital animation space, digital music, but also urban ag. Those are just the beginnings of what we could see at Electric Works. But we're also doing that with 8th graders. So we're working with the Boys Club, Girls Club, which I think is truly sparking innovation because we want each of our 8th graders to go through, if you will, learning labs that attach to the 6 pipelines. We will use that equipment in those particular learning labs during the day, but also Boys Club and Girls Club will use them in the evening.
We're so happy as Boys and Girls Club to be part of one of those areas with that experimental learning opportunity through the Jim Kelly Career Development Center, and basically giving kids, particularly 8th graders, early exposure to different pathways around skilled trades in our community. As you know, there's a skilled trade gap in our community and really across Northeast Indiana, and to be able to partner with Fort Wayne Community Schools to ensure that all their 8th graders have an opportunity to be exposed to these different pathways is really amazing for us.
Well, one of the reasons we started the Jim Kelly Career Academy next to the Boys and Girls Club was to try to engage kids at a younger age prior to getting close to go to junior high or high school with opportunities that are here in our market. You know, we have maybe 15 or 20 great businesses like ourselves that need good employees. And we want kids to see what's out there, what's available. What would it be like to work for Kelly Automotive? What would it be like to work for Sweetwater Sound or Steel Dynamics or Ruoff Mortgage or any of these great companies? And so I think if we do what I want to call a teaser lab type situation, where kids might be in 4th, 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade, and they say, hey, I really like one of these 2 careers. And then as they go through high school, they can sort of pursue those avenues with proper help and education from the school system. And I know Dr. Daniels has been very, very supportive of that effort, and I think that's just step one.
It just so happens that we've adopted a new program called 3DE, which is part of the National Junior Achievement Program. Phenomenal successes in places like Atlanta, Tampa, Louisville, but we are now one of the lead districts in the country. What's it about? It's about bringing partnerships into our classroom with real-world case study analysis, case study method, but here's the key. It's a theme running through both math, English, social studies, and science, and whatever else elective the student may have, but a cohort of students that are immersed in collaboration, immersed in how do we, again, work together? How do we communicate? How are we problem solvers and critical thinkers? We call those the 6 C's. I call them success skills. That is a huge piece that we need to nurture from pre-K actually all the way through 12th grade.
What 3DE does, it takes the case challenge. It allows business people to come in there, interact with young people, and create the why they would want to learn this information through a case challenge, gets them excited, let them know that their opinion matters. Their opinion matters to the leadership in Fort Wayne. So as they provide answers to what businesses are facing today, that feels pretty good. That is just the modality in which the kids are learning the core subject matters. It's really about learning the success skills that are going to ultimately make students successful in the future, such as collaboration, communication, persistence, respect for others. Those are key competencies that businesses need from all employees. So that's a real big part of what 3DE does.
I think Workforce Ready is so important to our community because it's how are we supporting the business growth in the community. You know, if our businesses aren't growing, our local economy is not growing. So as we make sure that we have a prepared workforce for our businesses, that's going to allow them to create more opportunities for Fort Wayne Community School students and our residents. And that's going to lead to broader opportunities in the future. The more we can help the businesses grow with a quality workforce, the more opportunities that workforce is going to have in a growing community.
I'm excited for where Fort Wayne Community Schools is going. I think the direction of our school system is becoming more and more relevant as we move forward. And I'm just thankful that we have administrators like Dr. Daniel and others to take our school system to the next level.
I can tell you, as I've looked at districts across the country, those who have created a way to bring the curriculum to life, that have created hands-on applications, project-based learning, things such as attendance increases, things such as grades increase. Also, discipline tends to decrease. Behavior is much more adult-like. And quite frankly, I think those are the things we want. I think if we do this, not only will Fort Wayne continue to be one of the fastest growing communities and cities in the Midwest, but why not the entire country?
I think the thing I'm most proud of is that Fort Wayne Community Schools is prioritizing and then really being intentional about bringing awareness and programs that are really going to hit those top-line priorities. And I think that that's exciting because I think it'll be those programs that really do move the needle as far as a community and about preparing these students for next-generation jobs.
I'm personally very excited to be engaged with Fort Wayne Community Schools' new initiative of sparking innovation and transformation into tomorrow's students.
You look around at the business success here, the entrepreneurs that have come from this community, stayed in this community, and they grow our region. If we can inspire those entrepreneurs to continue to do that and to stay here, that's going to be the game changer. We're going to grow our own, and that's going to grow the region.
So today's educated children are tomorrow's lawyers and doctors and politicians and tradesmen. But most importantly, they're tomorrow's responsible, contributing residents, or the opposite. And so it's up to us to really give them the education and the skills that they need to make those decisions responsibly, so we then have responsible, caring adults as we move forward.
If we deliver more 17, 18-year-olds ready to be great citizens, we're going to have the best version of Fort Wayne and the best version of Allen County.
So our mission in Fort Wayne Community Schools is simply this. We want to educate all students to high standards. Each student is important. Do we really believe each student can learn? Do we really believe each student should have, upon graduation, a pathway such that they can make a livable wage? I believe we do. We call that the culture of our district, and we believe culture wins.